my email.
Yes, but we're good. Tell me yay.
What?
Tell me. Push your hand. Tell me.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. I think we'll start the meeting now. We have a packed meeting today, actually. Welcome to the August 22nd, 22 meeting of the Rotary Club of Raleigh. And it's great to see everybody. I think we'll start right off though, first with the invocation, which Patty will be giving today. Patty?
I'm just doing the invocation, not the Pledge of Allegiance, because being the subject of His great and glorious Majesty the Queen, she takes umbrage if I. So we'll let someone else do that. Would you join me in a word of prayer? Gracious God, mighty Lord, you continue to bless us with every good gift, and pour your abundant grace and blessing upon us. We give you thanks for all these blessings and graces, and rejoice in your love. Even as we give thanks for this meal, this meeting, and for this fellowship, we pause to pray for the many among us and around us who are still in want or need in so much of their lives. The poor, the hungry, the aged, the infirm, the grieving, and the lost. Pour out the abundance of your love upon these also, and open our hearts in generosity toward them. Bless the work of this club and the service we provide to our community. Bless through this food and the hands that are prepared. May all we do this day be done to the glory of your most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Patty. It's very nice. Everybody stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, which I am happy to lead the group. Even though I'm from California. Anyway, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountains, majesty above the roof plain. America, America, God shed His grace on me and crowned my good with brotherhood. From sea to the shining sea. Long live Rotary! Welcome back, everybody. Last. I hope everybody's been enjoying their summer and enjoyed our 2-week August summer break off. I'll be talking a little bit about what some people have been doing during that break. But we're fortunate today to have a number of guests with us. I'd like to do something a little different. And this is more for the people on Zoom. For the guests that are here, we have an owl device here, and it can't hear this big of a room. The owl eye goes around, but it can't pick up voices from just into the room. So we'd like the guests to come up just briefly and introduce yourself, your name, what you do, and maybe you know why you're here. She's ready to go.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Dr. Carolyn Carter, and I'm the Vice President for Institutional Advancement at St. Augustine University. So I'm very glad to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good
afternoon. So I want to introduce you to Jeff Pate, who is another Tiger fan. I met him through the Clemson alumni group up here, actually knew his uncle down at Clemson.
We don't speak about that.
Yeah. I'll let you say it.
Thank you, guys. Hey, y'all, thank you so much for having me. My name is Dr. Jeff Pate. I serve as the Executive Director of Knox Creek Ministries, and then I also work with Connect Cause. It's a company in Durham that partners with nonprofits in Triangle. And I'm guilty as a Clemson fan, which is how we became friends. But new to the Raleigh area-ish. I moved here mid-pandemic, so I'm excited to kind of be out and meet people and service groups and be out in the community finally after the inside of my house is a really poor representation of Raleigh my first 2 years. So, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. All right, well, thank you. Okay. And then Tiffany, you're next with Amanda and Dee.
Please welcome David Sherlin. David's a Raleigh native, graduate of Raleigh High School, UNC undergrad, NC Central Law School, worked sometime at Capitol on Capitol Hill, and also with Colin Wilde at the district attorney's office. And he's a good friend of mine from our church. He's part Methodist, married, lovely wife, and 2 teenage children. His office is on Hillsborough Street, near my office on Hillsborough Street, and near Surrey Roberts on Woodford. So please welcome David Sherlin.
There you go.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Amanda Miller. She is Streamline Business Consulting. I recently met her through the chamber and decided to introduce her to all of you wonderful people and get her application and see what we can do with her.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great, thank you, Amanda.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle. Hi everyone, I'm Michelle Lindas. They call me Dee in short, so that's easier. So I would like to meet everyone. I'm from Australia, so I did my Masters of Cyber Security and worked with PwC over there. And I moved in here because my husband's been working here the past 40 years. So basically, I have a 8-year-old daughter as well, so I came here to join, and I part of the Adelaide University Rotary Club and also the Rotary of Peace in Adelaide. And I was part of the membership committee, and 2 years being there, yeah. So 2 years being there, and we have 75 members, and it's amazing. It's a nice crowd, and I would like to be part of this club and get to know all of you all and do the same things apart from home and work. Because that's something that I involve myself, and I would love to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I also don't have anybody to introduce me. This is my second test meeting. I'm Katie Traversi. I'm a criminal defense and immigration attorney here in Raleigh. And I learned about Rotary through an organization I work with in Kenya. And so, and then I just everyone.
Okay, well, thank you, and welcome again. In the 2 weeks that has been our little summer vacation, I thought I'd just show a few slides of what some of our members have been up to. You'll hear more about this later from Richard, but this is us on Saturday, slogging through Rich Creek, doing a stream cleanup, and our speaker will be covering all things stream cleanup and stormwater today. Richard Watkins has been busy organizing the Rotary Club at NC State that we'll be sponsoring again this weekend. We'll be having a booth at the Packapalooza to let people know, students, about the Rotary Club at NC State and reviving that after their summer break. We had Tiffany on right, give do a very nice minute or so video on LinkedIn. You can find it talking about our club and how much that she's enjoyed it so much. It's great to hear, and inviting everybody else watching the video to contact her with us. Then we have a membership, district-wide membership summit on Saturday over the weekend, and Harrison, Turner, and Paul Corsa and our own Shake McLean attended the membership summit, and they learned all things membership in Rotary, and it's nice to give up their day to attend that for the Help the Club and bring back good ideas for the club. We had Jean-Luc Dubas attend a scintillating, exciting Rotary board meeting. And he was playing at the bar very eager, but we caught him, he thought his camera was off. And we caught you, Jean-Luc, but any of you are welcome. Any of our board meetings are once a month, second Monday, 5:30 by Zoom, so they're easy to attend. So please do learn a bit more about the club. And John actually did the on call, so I think you learned something. And then these two party animals, I don't know what happened to the slide there. It got cut off. But in any event, we had Patty and Bill McLaurin, those party animals, attending an ice cream social for past governors. And your photos were in there. I don't know what happened to them, but that's what people did on their summer break off. There they are. I didn't need to be quick quiet. Okay, there we go. Something new today, as you note on your table. And it was in the bulletin last week if you read it, but the board did decide at a board meeting to make a change. We know tables, and for the guests that are here, the blue card buckets were for Alzheimer's research, and it's a national organization that emanated out of a small club in South Carolina and Rotary that we put our loose change in, dollar bills change or whatnot. But we decided to keep that money more local, and especially since Heather Hooper is one of our longtime valued members and is head of the Dementia Alliance of North Carolina. And she can't make it today unless she's on Zoom, but she was very, very pleased that we decided and voted to replace the blue card buckets with these red Dementia Alliance buckets. We can call them dub buckets if you want, but they're on your tables, and the first money that will go into them is from Cindy Roberts, who on Saturday gave me $10 to put into the bucket for the first one. So here we go, many more dollars to support local statewide research on Dementia Alliance and care. And again, Heather Hooper is president of that. So hopefully they'll give generously as the year goes on, because that adds up over the course of the year. So that's a new change. Thank you. And we have Charlie here today in his finest summer seersucker. We have any happy dollars.
Anybody got any happy dollars? I'm working on commission today, so happy.
Oh, here we go. Here. This is a happy dollar for all the folks that I'm sure they'll be talking about it more, but for all the folks that showed up at the creek today to do the creekside cleanup, and people that were much harder workers than me, like Valerie here, that like were reaching down, like pulling out old bicycles and pulling them out of the creek. So it was a great day. It's a happy dollar.
Thank you. That's great.
Thank you, Valerie. Thank you.
While you're waiting, I did want to note,
10 grand, is it?
oh, there we go. We did have a great turnout on Saturday, and I just wanted to, I was the one taking the picture, but Richard Avery, Richard Watkins, Bill Rohr and his daughter and granddaughter were there. Eric Stevens and his lovely mother from Atlanta were there. Carrie Suffren, Jean-Luc Dubas, Val Evans, Bert Haywood, Jessica Cunningham, Chris Gentry, Cindy Roberts, Eric Juicy Jones, and Bob Bilbrook were there. And you'll hear more from Richard. So we had a great time. Okay, so there.
Valerie was a beast on. She was, I didn't have boots on. Under the, there was like an old rug down there. She was amazing. So $900, $100 start back today. She is getting her master's in social work at NC State. So she had her working for Project Fight, which is human trafficking. She's been a caseworker. So now she's going back to get her master's. She wants to still stay in that field, but hopefully.
Great. Okay. Thank you, everybody. That's good. Last call, Lynn. Okay, thank you, Charlie. Yes, sir. This is the red bucket that I just told you about. And this is just upcoming. Remember Labor Day in a couple of weeks, we won't be meeting. Dee, you may be interested in this. I don't know if you've come across Carolyn and her husband yet, Carolyn Makepeace, but they're an Australian couple who have somehow found Raleigh and settled down here and built a business, very thriving travel-related business, online and otherwise. Anyway, it'll be a fun talk next week with the North Carolina auditor, where our money goes in our state. And then if any of you heard of Gaffney's grounds, we have the daughter and mother who will be speaking to us about that. And then at the end of September, if any of you drink alcohol, we'll be talking about the ABC system here by Andy Allen, which should be pretty interesting. And then a couple items of district news. Again, to our guests, we're part of a larger Rotary 77th district that pretty much encompasses the center part of the state and all the clubs there. And of course, the district is part of the zone, and the zone is part of the whole Rotary International organization. But our district governor this year, Nathan Thomas, who came to one of our socials last month. Nathan is a very young, dynamic fellow. He's going to walk from Apex to Zebulon, and we'll be raising money from that. So you'll see ways that you can give to him. He's raising money for food insecurity through the Rotary International Foundation. But I thought that was a pretty cool subject. And also, I thought this was interesting. The Rotary District is also putting on a leadership lab. And they've only had one session, but September 9th is about effective communication and how can we connect better with our audience. And I was talking, I think, to our guest Amanda before the meeting started about how our club is different than some other regular service clubs in that we don't just do good in the community like we did last weekend with the stream cleanup and whatnot. And we don't just meet in fellowship, but we hopefully add value to all of your lives, and particularly your professional lives. Especially for the younger members here, you may be sitting at your table you are sitting next to at your tables to people who have been very, very successful in business. We are all leaders here in one degree or another. They're all different kinds of leaders, but people in Rotary really made an impact by building businesses, providing jobs, and in the community. And this series is for Rotarians to learn how to do better in business, to get that advantage out there in the workplace. It's a dog world out there in business. And just made me think that, for example, here are two things that helped me. This is a classic, the 1936 book about how to win friends and influence people. It's a book, it was written in 1936, so it's way before my time, even, a lot of our time. But it's Thomas' advice on how to deal in the business community and your own life but how to deal with people and communicate effectively with them. Toastmasters is another organization that Rotary has been trying to actually have an association with that will give you the skills and how to talk to people and communicate. Today, networking is fine, Hanging out in social media is fine, but it only gets you so far. I think that people really excel and improve themselves in business and in their lives, really try to improve themselves from the inside out, learning how to better effectively communicate. And that's what the next session is. And then after that, it's how to build trust, credibility, and respect, which will help in your businesses. And hopefully more and more will have more opportunities for the more longtime members to give advice and mentor the younger members too. That might help as you work your way up in whatever your business is. So with that, enough of me. I know you've been waiting for this, this new feature we've had. This is the third time we've done it. Yep, time for the nosy neighbor. Tommy?
Thank you so much. Today, you guys may see a nosy neighbor that you're familiar with. This is a Rotarian who, when I joined the club, people talk about, it was a long time before I knew her face, right? Like, we just hadn't run into each other. So that's what this segment does, is it brings together Rotarians that maybe know each other a little bit, but not a lot, right? So today, we're gonna focus on Carrie. Carrie, if you can start by just giving them, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds, let them know who you are and what do you do for work, where do you work, what's your role?
Yeah, my name is Carrie Suffern. I am a meteorologist and GIS specialist. I do some contract work with a civil engineering company in Fleming, and I'm also in the midst of launching my own LLC to provide weather forecasts to anybody that needs them.
Nice. Eric, are you writing this down? All right. For a little wrinkle for those of you that don't know Carrie, because this is not in the questions, but Eric is Carrie's dad. So if you've never put that together, that's an important link, I think. All right, very good.
We love a lot.
Yes. All right, Carrie, question number one, kind of a personal question, but tell us about how did you propose or get proposed to when you got engaged?
I was get proposed to, and my husband, Paul Suffern, has been at a lot of service events throughout the years. We got engaged in Juneau, Alaska, where he was living at the time, and then I later moved. And I kind of knew it was coming. I had inadvertently stumbled in on him and my dad, him asking my dad to pay his toes, and just awkwardly stood there, and then they both of them were, sorry, Dad. But after he was done with work, he had us go up on a hike to this beautiful mountain cliff, and he had got some friends to take pictures, and he proposed on the side of this cliff. The Pacific Ocean was right there, and then right afterwards, 2 little dolphins were by. I said, did you plan that?
You have no idea what cake is. No.
It's
All right.
Solid robots.
Very good. And on a little bit of a lighter note, tell us a little bit about your most embarrassing moment.
Okay. You know, I'll laugh, please laugh at this. So I had this opportunity in 2008, which was the year after I graduated college. So great time to graduate college during the whole economic fiasco. So I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. I moved back home. I was 20-some years old, living with mom and dad. Oh, sorry guys. Met Bob Woodruff, who was a reporter for Good Morning America, who had a TBI, traumatic brain injury over in Iraq. Met him at an event for UNC hospitals, and he's just the most generous, kind man. Gave me his email, and because he knew that I was graduating with meteorology, they want to get into broadcast meteorology. Gave me his email, said, yeah, well, could you come up tomorrow morning? This was a Sunday, and be on the set of Good Morning America and meet some people. So, oh, yeah, I'll make that happen. So figured out, your 20-year-old self, figured out, got a plane ticket, got myself to RDU, got my whole little business suit ready. Thought it was big stuff. So get up to New York, get my hotel room and everything, and had a bite to eat pretty much all day. So I was trying to figure this all out. Next morning rolls around, the only thing that I could find to eat was a little cookie. So eat that, drink some water, and go meet. It was actually Chris Cuomo's assistant who was going to show me around. Was wearing my little suit, go meet her. I meet Sam Champion. Robin Roberts walks by and she was yay tall. She's really tall, beautiful, some around all these gorgeous people. And they had this lovely couple who had been a part of a terrible terrorist, in a terrible terrorist incident in India that was there to speak that morning. So Chris Post is just gonna show me around. We're back in the room where they're filming everything. And I started to feel a little dizzy. And so I stayed with this lady, and I'm like, I need to see, can I go back and sit down? Before we get back to the kind of break room where everybody is, I pass out, just straight on the floor, I pass out. Almost on the set of Good Morning America. So I stand up, everybody's around me, and they say, oh, shit, I'm like, no, I'm just an idiot. I'm just an idiot. And then I get myself together, and we go down there. This is near Christmas, real famous guy who's going to play the piano. It almost happens again. So they pretty quickly usher me out of there. Chris Cuomo's private driver drives me back to the hotel, and he's asking me, are you on medication? Well, that's the big I'm some weirdo from the they just make my big break and everything. So, well, it's not a big break, but that's my go-to embarrassing moment story.
It is an awesome story. And you guys, when you're here and you hear people stand up and share, we'd like to thank people like Carrie who are willing to share a little bit that's maybe flattering or maybe not. If you hear from somebody, yes, please do. There's plenty of food at the back. But if you hear somebody that knows your neighbor and they say something that sparks you, or they're in an industry that touches your industry, or you heard a story from them and you'd like, guys, as Rotarians, reach out to each other. Get connected. So if you hear something that's up here and you want to know more, go for it. I know that everybody likes to know more about Carrie, so please temper your enthusiasm as she sets her schedule. Thank you, Carrie.
Grab an extra cookie.
And now I'd like to ask Eric Larson and Matt Barfield to come up.
What's the hard part? When the time's right.
So the easiest question to ever ask me is, who is your favorite Rotarian? Because you just met him. So you're my hero. So I'm thrilled to be up here. But we're here to honor Matt today. We have a foundation of Rotary International, Rotary International Foundation, and there's also a club foundation managed by this club. The Rotary International Foundation does work all over the world, and the club foundation does work primarily in this area, but also we have occasional projects to do around the world. When somebody gives a significant contribution, $1,000 or more to Rotary International, they get recognized with a Paul Harris Fellowship. And when somebody gives $500 or more to the local club foundation, they get recognized with what's called the Lester Woodall Society membership. Matt, being an efficient guy, has done both, and so we're honoring him for both today. And I want to talk a little bit about the kind of work that Rotary does around the world in this case. Locally, from the Club Foundation, we've helped the book drive, we've helped hunger, we've actually helped some global projects, we've helped the Dementia Alliance, we sponsor a free dental clinic in Raleigh, so a lot of things we do locally. But Rotary International, I want to talk about this a little bit because folks like Matt make it possible. And I'm going to talk about Latin America in Nicaragua. And they're having a great deal of civic unrest in Nicaragua a little while ago, and it was based on the political strife going on in that country. And some Rotarians there were thinking, Rotary has these peace institutions around the world where they train people on conflict resolution. They said, can we localize that? And I'm going to have to read this. The Club of Ciudad Santiago got together with a group of Rotary Club of Nueva Vida, and they have a group that comes together and facilitates peace conferences. So through Rotary International, they put together a 3-day conference that community leaders are able to come to learn a better way to interact with each other and have peace even during political strife. I think we should send those people to Washington, D.C. probably. But because of that, I'm going to ask President Tom, if you would, to go ahead and award Matt his Rotary International memorabilia. I guess there's a certificate. There is a medallion he can wear at noble occasions. There's a pin you'll see that he had on, and a pin backer that goes behind his Rotary Club of Raleigh pin to signify his membership in that. We are deeply grateful. Matt has actually served the club in roles as well before. So Matt, congratulations. Thank you so much. Okay, and moving right on, congratulations again, Matt. Moving on to service. Richard, here you go. I'll just click through the photos as you go. How's that? Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. On the morning of Saturday, August 20th, 15 Rotarians and 2 mothers and a grandchild met at Bridge Creek in Southeast Raleigh for a cleanup. We gathered at 9 a.m., passed out vests and trash bags. Richard writing the prayer, and we went to it. And this was not a leisurely walk in the park by any means. We did some work that day just to show what we did in 2 hours. And, to echo Cindy, I wanted to give a shout out to Valerie. I remember when Eric and I first got there, we kind of teared over and said, "Is that a bike?" Before I could finish, Valerie took past me, jumped in, picked up, said, "Y'all want to grab this? Got this?" You know, she led the team, and it wouldn't surprise me if Chris Gentry is not here because he was worn out. He's probably still recovering. I mean, there was some really hard work we did. I tell you, it is we truly demonstrated service above self. We will be back in the spring, and I think we're going to talk about adopting in our next board meeting. So we'll take it up. As you can see, it was a Herculean effort by 15 of the finest Rotarians in this area. In regards to our next service project, it will be September 10th. It will be Horses for Hope. We're going to go out there. Horses for Hope is going to put on an event for some first responders in our area, and they're going to have a meal and some other things that we're going to help put it on for, basically. And that's going to be coming up shortly. Be on the lookout for the e-bike. And thank you for the privilege of your time. Okay, thank you. Our membership chair, Harrison, would you come up? Yes.
Hello, everyone. And everyone on Zoom. I want to thank everyone once again for coming out. This is Monday. A huge crowd, a lot of guests. So happy to see all of that. Before we get into the first reading blue badge, I want to just bring up everybody. So I was not out at the creek. It was a great time. Myself, Paul, as was Shaquem, we went out to the membership summit. It was a district-wide membership summit. It was, I would just say, it was really encouraging to see the progress our clubs made comparatively to if you look at other clubs in the district. We were one of the only clubs that had an actual attraction rate versus attrition. And it just goes to all of you guys sharing your why. I would say that it's important to note that it's easy to think about membership as just a way for us to bolster our numbers, get more people in the room, and things like that. But truly, the message of this summit was that we need more boots on the ground. The need in our community is so great. There's just not enough people out there doing enough about it. And it's so great to see, as y'all, especially yes, as you see today, the amount of different service projects that our club does, the amount of things that we're doing on a monthly, on a weekly basis. This is a club that truly wants to make an impact in our community, and we need more boots on the ground. So that's why I push share your why. I get people here that don't know about Rotary because not only is it a great group of people to know, but we are truly impacting the lives of our community. So just want to say thank you guys to all of what you're doing because this club shined bright during the summit. So with that, we have 2 first readings today. First, Brandon, if you would come and join me up front, as well as Michelle. If you come up front as well. Dun, dun, dun. You guys can just stand over here. So we have two first readings today, and as a reminder for everyone and for those that are visiting today, we do readings for two purposes. One, it provides the club an opportunity to put a face to the name and consider this late as well. But it also provides us an opportunity to, if someone knows something about these potential candidates that would disqualify them for being a Rotarian, we take membership in Rotary seriously. Just let us know. But really, it's that twofold reason. So with that, first, today we have Brandy Guru, sponsored by Elsa Silverman. Brandy is a graduate from NC State University with a degree. Brandy graduated from NC State University with a degree in interpersonal communications. She is now vice president and private banking officer at Tao Bank with a sole focus on nonprofits. I actually had lunch with her last week at True. All she focuses on is nonprofits, and that I thought it was just amazing that you're able to serve them well. She has like I said, for nonprofits, Brandy has over a decade of experience in nonprofit association management, and she holds so many different certificates. Your application was great. So I have a couple here. She holds her Certified Association of Executive Credentials, her Certified Meeting Professionals credentials, and was a recipient of the Association Executives of North Carolina Young Professionals School Award back in 2020. She also received the Certificate of Excellence in Nonprofit Leadership and Management in 2016 from Michigan State. And you were just now a graduate of Leadership Raleigh. So she stays active in our community. She's going to do a great job with kind of pushing forward the cause of Rotary. Looking forward to having her. If you got any questions or haven't said hello to her yet, please say hello to Brandy. And then we have Michelle Owens. Michelle Owens is sponsored by myself. We are actually in a couple of different gatherings together. Michelle was born and raised in Charlotte County, Virginia, and is a graduate from Virginia Tech with a degree in marketing education. Her bio specifically said, "Go Hokies." I'm a Duke fan, so we're not going to do that. She worked as a high school marketing teacher and partnered with Navy. So in your bio, what was your nickname and what did they give you?
Sierra Bravo,
Sierra Bravo.
or Southern Belle.
For Southern Belle. So you can call her Sierra Bravo. She now works as a trusted staffing partner at Impact Staffing Group. She's a proud wife of Greg Owens, mom of 2 teenage girls, and a member of Salem Baptist Church. I've known Michelle for over a year now. She's got a service heart. She's going to do great for our community as well. So please make sure to say hello to these two ladies after the meeting. Thank you guys. So it has been an absolute honor, and Richard, I will say that we have a scripting for Blue Badge. We have a scripting for Blue Badge that I can read, but it would do a disservice to the impact we've already had in our club. So Richard's been with us, and everybody knows Richard, I think, at this point, right? He has taken what we thought were big goals for Rotary and made them look extremely small, and has challenged us to kind of go above and beyond what we thought was possible. And I thank you for it. So Richard has gone through the process. We provided him the red badge through his different service projects, getting to know you all, being a part of our board now as a service chair. We are honored to give you your blue badge. All right, moving forward, one day, August service social is Thursday, August 25th. This Thursday at 5:30 p.m. We're going to be at level 7 rooftop bar. Beautiful view over there. Last time I told you about our last service social. I asked everybody to raise your hand who was planning on coming to the social. And we usually average about 10 people. This last one we went at 15. So thank you guys for the additional support. But please try to come out to these. Not only just to share a drink, get to know your fellow Rotarian well, and to enjoy a beautiful view, but what we do, as I mentioned multiple times, what we do for service projects. So that's kind of going on to this here. We collect service snacks for Reedy Creek Elementary, Reedy Creek Elementary and Middle School, Adams Elementary, in Cary Elementary at the service social. Little snack bags, squeezy pouches, things like that, go directly to these schools that help the teachers provide snacks for kids who would come to school with nothing. And so Tom actually was to see some thank yous from some of the schools. So for instance, this one here, we have a late lunch, so my students are hungry by mid-morning. Having a choice of snacks to make sure everyone gets something to eat, I appreciate the help too. I have been buying snacks and now I don't have to. Most of our teachers are going out of their pockets to buy snacks for kids that won't have snacks or any kind of food coming into school. So besides the fact that we get to come together, enjoy our community, and enjoy training, we are making an impact in kids' lives and in teachers' lives that would otherwise be looking at other options. So thank you guys for everything that you're doing there. Please make sure to come out this 5:30 at level 7. I'd love to see that 15 to turn to 25. So make a try to get out there.
Harrison, that's what I had one more thing about the teachers. I found out last week that the average Wake County teacher puts $500 out of their pocket every year for supplies or snacks like that. So it just tells you how important and impactful.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Moving on to birthdays, and thank you, Harrison, for that. Good report. John, happy birthday this week. There was Kathy Stewart, and then Lawrence Senator Davis have a very sizable anniversary, 60. So let's keep them in our minds. Without further ado, I'd like to ask Davis Forrest up to introduce our speaker for today. We went old school at the old city symbol, but David.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. Thank you, President Tom. We are very, very happy to have a water expert today as our speaker. Joyce Gaffney is our speaker. She is an environmental and sustainability specialist with the City of Raleigh Stormwater Management Division. Joyce is in her 3rd year of service with the city. She coordinates all of the stormwater volunteer programs, such as the Adopt a Stream, as well as Raleigh's ambient water quality stream monitoring programs. Joyce is a graduate of the University of Wisconsin at Madison, where she earned her BS in environmental science. She previously served as a water quality coordinator for Lake County, Illinois' stormwater management, and she also worked for Lake County as a ravine technician and lakes quality technician. So without further ado, I will turn it over to Joyce Gaffney.
If I speak at this volume, can everyone hear me, or should I use the microphone? Speak up. Does this work? Sorry, I'm a bit of a soft-spoken person, so I'm just going to go ahead and use the microphone. So thank you so much for having me here to speak with you all today about the work that I do, as well as the work that the city does. I am just one person of a larger stormwater team, so I'm mostly going to focus on programs that I coordinate with the city, but happy to chat about maybe if I can just say slide. I don't know.
That's fine.
Oh, no, I got it. Okay, thank you. And so as David said, my name is Joyce Gaffney. I'm the environmental and sustainability specialist, which I realize is a bit of a broad title, but the programs that I coordinate are volunteer programs for stormwater. I'm the one volunteer coordinator. So if you want to stream, if you want to monitor a stream and collect a little bit of data about perhaps your backyard stream in Raleigh, or if you would like to help mark storm drains and help educate our community that the only thing that goes down the drain is stormwater, not trash, not paint, not anything else that we're just trying to not get rid of. That's me, I'm your contact person. In my role, I also coordinate all of our water quality monitoring. So when I'm not in the office, I'm in a stream where I'm leaders, collecting samples, using equipment to actually collect more data so that we can learn about the health of our streams. Okay, start a little bit later. Stormwater is a bigger department than just me. I'm one of 75 folks that work for the city stormwater management division. Traditionally, when we think about stormwater, maybe we're thinking about engineers and all of our stormwater infrastructure, pipes. But I'm specifically in the water quality section. So I'm really interested in our streams, how we can use that information to then implement projects throughout the city to improve the quality of our streams. And then there are other folks in my section that help address stream quantity issues. So how can specific projects, so how can specific projects like this constructed wetland actually help with mitigating flooding and creating additional storage for when it rains really hard in a really short amount of time and that water doesn't have anywhere to go. A little bit of background, maybe you already know, but we are in the Neuse River watershed. That's where we are right now. But we can subdivide that further within Raleigh. 37 watersheds. A watershed is an area that drains to one point. So you can really get as micro as you would like with this. Technically, your yard is probably a watershed, right? There's probably one spot in your yard where most of the water drains. But when we're thinking about creating management plans and looking at projects and that lens, we find it helpful as project managers to divide up our city into these planning areas so that we can really look at things on the scale that we need to in order to make sure that the work that we're doing is going to be successful, right? Because when you have this large area, it's really hard to kind of like suss out and tackle what we need to do. So zooming in even further to what I do with the city, I'm frequently out in streams, collecting samples in my test waders, and these are some of the parameters that we monitor to make sure that our streams are actually healthy. So some of them we're actually collecting samples, whereas others I have a special heater that I would put into an area like this that's representative of the entire stream, right? It's an area that's maybe a little more static, where there's not as much flow or is right along the stream bank. It might not be as well mixed, so right here would be the prime spot for sampling any of these parameters. Some of this is just basic industry standards. Others are things that are suggested by the state because the state has different standards, right, for what they monitor, so we try to work in tandem with them as well. One of the things that I really enjoy about my job is that I also get to do biological sampling. So all of these different creatures live in stream beds. Maybe we have some flying fisher people in here. And I know that, like, I don't fish personally, but I've heard that they're common to use lures that look like stoneflies or other different types of benthic invertebrates, because that's like what a trout wants to nibble on. So a little bit weird that I spend weeks on weeks in the summer out in the field actually collecting these species, but each different type of macroinvertebrate or aquatic insect tells us something different about the streams that are in Raleigh. They have different tolerance for different kinds of pollution. So by finding this dragonfly in Crabtree Creek, that's gonna tell us something specific about Crabtree Creek, because we know that this guy was able to live there and breathe the dissolved oxygen from the body of water, and that the nutrient levels in the stream also, macros, for going by the short time, they live in a stream for a longer period of time than just me sticking my meter in and taking an instantaneous sample. So when we pull a species that's maybe been in a stream for 3 years, it's gonna tell us a little bit more than just taking one grab sample, right? Unless we're doing it with volunteer opportunities. So as I mentioned at the top, we have 3 different programs and working on incorporating a 4th. More details to come. This is unfortunately just a static map of what is a very real dynamic map online when you go to our website, but we have about 15 or so active volunteer stream monitors. So all of the blue dots on this map represent places where people are collecting their own data. They do attend a training. Our next training will be at Walnut Creek Wetland Park in South Raleigh, the 2nd weekend of October. That's something you're interested in. Once a month, these people go out to a stream in a park or in their backyard and help us spread out all of the places where we're able to collect. I'm only one person. I have a team of people that help me with sampling, but this is one way that we can kind of increase our capacity and collect samples in more than just the places where internally as a city we're able to sample. And then all their information gets logged here, and then again, unfortunately, this is just a static screen grab, but you can go online and click on sites, maybe pick the site by where you are, your child's school, business, what have you, and then kind of maybe some faces look familiar in the picture. We have by far the most volunteer adopters. Our largest program is our volunteer adoption program, which is fantastic because every year we are able to pull thousands and thousands of pounds of trash, just like you guys did on Saturday, out of our water tanks. Here are just some statistics for our last reporting year, broadly across all of our programs. But I think I have, if you've been downtown, I think is Beasley's, and this is still live, so that Canada's not too far away, but we worked on a collaborative project with our communications department to have these signs printed, acknowledging that last year, calendar year 2021, over 18,000 pounds of trash were collected by district volunteers. So that's something that, you all contributed to, and we're so grateful because, again, city staff can only do so much. You can only be in so many places, but we're really able to make an impact because of volunteers involved. And then I'm happy to say, when I created this presentation weeks ago, that we were already at about 15,000 pounds of trash collected. And that is kind of our midway point. Our most active times for adoptive stream are in the spring and in the fall. So I would expect this number to hopefully double, which would definitely put us over our total from last year. Most things, we have a dip in volunteering due to COVID, but I think with more folks getting outside, we recognize that there is plenty of trash that needs to be picked up. So anyone in here have a rainbow at home? Just kind of show of hands. Yeah, awesome. Cool. this last kind of summary slide is just ways that you can get involved outside of volunteering. I think that all of our backs would be in worse shape if we cleaned up streams every single weekend, but there's so many other things that you can do to help further sustainability goals within the community. I mentioned rain barrels because I'm the rain barrel coordinator for the city. That's that I wear. Through our website, we have links to connect with different vendors within the city that will help you buy a rain barrel at a discounted cost. And that's for anyone, regardless of where you live. I know that a lot of our programs, you need to pay our stormwater utility fee or be a resident of Raleigh to participate, but this is for anyone that accesses our site. Rain barrels are great if you garden, if you wash your car, if you have equipment that you need to wash, anything that, so it's not portable, it's not for drinking, right, unless you're putting in some fancy treatment system, but it is a great way to use what nature's already providing, right? I co-teach a workshop about rain gardens and rain barrels, and that'll be held in October as well at Walnut Creek Wetland Park. Has anyone been to the green roof at Raleigh Union Station? Yeah, okay. So this is a project that we want to highlight because we're extremely proud of how it turned out. Our Raleigh Rainwater Rewards program is a cost share program where residents contribute funding to install different green stormwater infrastructure projects. So essentially projects like green roofs. At a residential scale, we're likely looking at rain gardens or fire retentions. All of these projects are going to improve water quality. That's the primary goal of the program. So the green roof is Raleigh Union Station is more a commercial type project, which we support as well for the program. And that's removing, not sure of the exact metric, but into the streets. And lastly, if you have any questions about volunteering, your go-to person. We support staffed cleanups. So if there's a school group that wants to come out and help, that's something that we can facilitate, or any of our standalone events. We'll also have a drop-in cleanup fall and in the spring. I think with that, you guys have any questions? Thank you.
Any questions for Joyce?
How do our streams rank, in terms of how clean they are?
And for people on Zoom, how do our streams rank compared to other cities?
Yeah, so the best way to kind of look at that would be through state data. Not sure how many other scientists are in the room, but right, we're looking at, okay, the procedures that Raleigh follows versus say Charlotte or Durham. Those are all going to be maybe slightly different and even have human error, right? I'm not collecting all the data for the state, so I just want to, yeah, so I think as a scientist first, so present that lens, right? That maybe our data, you wouldn't necessarily compare one-to-one. But okay, so let's look at student data. Any urban area faces challenges, right? Yeah, so one metric that you could look at would be the EPA listed streams, and I'm not sure off the top of my head, like how many miles are in Raleigh versus in Charlotte or other municipalities. But that would be like one way to kind of compare. Yeah, and I know that sometimes I get just because my jurisdiction is Raleigh, so I don't always know comparatively, right? Because I'm just so entrenched in that knowledge. Is that said enough? Yeah, Portland should think, yeah.
Yeah, Kirk.
What's the most unique thing anyone's found in the stream?
For Zoom, the most unique thing ever found in a stream. Excluding bodies.
Oh, luckily never that. I know, that would be the day I have to really think about my career choices, but pouches, unfortunately, just larger items that get dumped, right, because they're more convenient. Unfortunately, like knives, that kind of stuff, yeah. Suitcase, full of clothes, one time wallet. I have found, unfortunately, those like line scooters in the creek, so when you're parking, make sure you got the parking brake on, so that they don't go anywhere they're not supposed to.
Eric's a good question.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious, so you're doing this monitoring of the health of the streams. And then, you know, what do you do with that information? What, you know, if a stream has got a problem, like I know we'll go walking along Crabtree Creek, you know, kind of behind where the mall is, and there are all kinds of signs, you know, don't drink the water, don't fish, don't eat, you know, you might turn into a goblin or something if you eat any of the fish out of the water. And I assume that those signs are placed because of the testing that you all are doing. I don't know if that's the case or not, but you know, when you find a stream that's unhealthy, what do you do about it?
Yeah, so all the data that I collect is then shared with my colleagues so that they can work on project implementation. So when we get a hit for something like, okay, like we continue to see this trend for this parameter in this stream, this might be an area where we would consider putting in prevention, or we work with our partners in the water all the time. We have identified areas for sewer upgrades, right? Luckily in Raleigh, we're separate storm and sewer system, right? Not combined. So if it rains super hard, then there's an overflow. It's just stormwater most of the time, but identifying areas where there might be those leaks, right? Because it's an old city.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Joyce, thank you very much. Don't go anywhere yet.
Oh,
Excuse me, I need to kneel down. There. Hopefully, this is a token of our appreciation. Hopefully someday you'll be able to dip this into any stream in Raleigh and drink straight from the cup. So remember us. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Before we turn the meeting, we'll do the four-way test. Everybody stand, please. Are the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair? Sir. Will it be beneficial to all concerned?